to our first ever podcast, Ship Talk. I'm here today, your host, Drew Lovett, with our co-host and my soul sister from the same mister, Denise Lovett.
And the same womb.
Ooh, we womb mates.
We womb mates for real, though.
Mates.
Yeah.
So we're here today on a rainy Shippensburg day with our best friend since kindergarten, Mr. Z, Grace B. Lors.
Bring it all the way back.
This is so sentimental.
Let's introduce Savannah Mineta.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
This is like so sentimental. I'm really happy you guys introed me like that.
We're so excited to have you here. Like, honestly.
I'm honestly really excited because number one, I'm a huge podcast fan. Like, I freaking love podcasts. I listen to them.
She's always telling us
and
on our Friday GNO dates.
As like, this sounds like such a stupid little millennial dream,
Nothing
but
stupid.
It's like, as a millennial, it's like, oh my gosh, I'm a guest on a podcast. I'm so cool.
I mean,
you know what I mean?
You've made it.
Right, and you are the
before
coolest.
graduating, which is amazing.
It just feels fun, and I hope I get to do it again.
It's chill, it's
really
fun.
cool.
We're gonna have a great conversation today, and
Yay.
we're just so happy to have you.
I hope I have good things to say.
No,
Of
like
course
you
you
do.
will.
Like,
I think I have good things to say, but then I say them, and I'm like, no, that's
Everyone thinks
stupid.
that. You guys, for those of you who don't know, Savannah is an art major here at
Yes.
SHIP. She literally just had a show last Saturday, March 30th.
Plug.
Featured with other senior artists. Her stuff was bomb. She'll tell you about it later in the
Amazing.
interview, but like,
Thanks.
let's get into
We're
it.
gonna
She's
dive
a senior.
into it,
And she's a
yes.
senior too, so like, this is a big deal.
It was like the climax of her
And I'm
collegiate career.
It was
Let's
the
be
climb,
honest.
Miley Cyrus, and she reached the peak.
It's a climb.
I have another exhibition coming up, but I don't know. I'm like have to submit work for it, so I don't know if I'll get in. But
Okay, let's just say
fingers
you will.
crossed.
Not doubt ourselves.
Yeah.
It'll
Okay,
happen.
Let's be honest with
but
ourselves.
that'll
here.
be really
Do
exciting.
you want to start?
Good.
Do you want to start the astrology?
Let's get into it. So the first thing we're gonna do is an astrology roundup.
Okay.
We're just gonna give a little summary of the
I'm gonna put
weekly
the- on my
transits and some of the major things that are going on in the sky right now. Savannah right now is putting a purple amethyst on her third eye.
Right.
I was told that was what I was supposed
Yes,
to do.
She was
I
told
told
by
her
you,
to do
Drew.
this. I told her to do
Yeah,
this.
like by you. So
Yes.
she's like, let me just get a real.
I'm not
And
gonna lie. It like so it's cool because
Yes.
like it's actually the temperature is very cold.
Oh, it's
so
cooling.
it feels good.
Oh yeah.
So,
Yeah. It feels good
Like
and
an
it's
ice
healing.
cube.
So like, why not?
Right.
Yeah,
It's like-
a spiritual ice cube.
Even
Right.
though it's not that hot, it just feels good.
And Savannah's a Pisces, and that's the amethyst is like the stone for Pisces.
Oh, yes.
Well, actually
That's
for
our
March.
birthstone.
So, like,
Oh
it's
yeah.
is it for February
It's
or
our
for March too?
birthstone.
March is aquamarine.
Yeah. So never mind. I lied
Okay,
to
it's
you.
it's Feb. It's Feb.
But it's fine. Stones are stones.
Stones, stones.
Well, I feel a kinship to purple, so
You are wearing.
that must be like
Yeah.
why.
yeah.
You have a purple case, so it's all right. Go ahead.
Okay.
Drew.
Should I get
Yeah.
into it?
Get into it.
Okay. We're gonna get into the astrology roundup. So first things first, Mercury is direct, and it actually went direct on the 28th of March. So last week, last Thursday actually. And I mean, a lot has happened since then.
So
but
direct means out of retrograde.
direct is out of retrograde, and you know, Mercury being in retrograde has become a very popularized thing. People are tweeting about it. There are articles in magazines.
I've seen shirts on Instagram.
There are shirts.
It's very
I-
like surprising and annoying.
Right.
With the Mercury and
Mercury in retro.
Mercury.
She said margarine.
Margarine. Margarine is in retrograde right now.
People say like Mercury's in Gatorade. I'm like, haha. You're funny.
Like everyone's commodifying spirituality, but like it's like millennials are on the up and up on spirituality. Like
This is true.
real like deal.
We know what's up. We want to give our honest opinion, our honest analysis of the stars and the world at large.
So what exactly was the Mercury retrograde? Like what sign was it in?
So the retrograde was in Pisces.
Okay,
Okay.
because I know it's like
Wait, so
signs
that-
do specific
yes.
things.
So-
Correct?
Yes.
Being a Pisces, since
Yes.
it was in Pisces, does that mean something specific for me?
Well,
like what happened to me?
It specifically
I don't know.
targeted Pisces and those people who have dominant planets in Pisces. So
Oh shoot.
Denise and I are also Pisces. We're twins. If you didn't know, we're triplets.
Yeah, we have a brother who's
Yes.
not as much into podcasts.
Oh.
He's not into it, but he's down for the get down.
I want him
Yeah.
to be into into it.
He's a Pisces, so he's
We'll
like
have
a
him on.
spiritual guy.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, would rather be in the background, like, typing out papers on accounting
I feel
or
like
like
he
weird
would
stuff.
rather.
Yes.
Like, he would
But
sit here and
also-
listen and say, like, weird, funny things.
Yeah, like he would say like one line. Like,
Yeah.
it would
Like
be
when he
like,
speaks, it's very like
it
profound,
would just be like
deep.
blah 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 blah.
We're gonna have him on. We
Yeah,
have
we'll
to
have him on later, because he's in cycling and, like, is kind of interesting, but, like, weird at the same
Yeah,
time.
he's
That's fine.
always doing something weird.
So for Pisces people, it's what?
Oh, for Pisces, it was like directed right at us, and it was more of like the retrograde was more of like a healing period. So the whole retrograde was from March 6th to March 28th, but the shadow periods in between also affect people like on Earth, obviously. And
The shadow period doesn't have a sign.
well, the shadow period was during actual like the beginning or the middle of February. I'm sorry.
Okay.
It was in Pisces as well.
Okay.
Yeah. And actually, right now we're in the shadow period until April 17th. So.
Which is Aries season.
Aries season.
Yeah.
But right now, Mercury is still in conjunct with Neptune. And Neptune is actually the ruler of Pisces.
What is
Yeah.
wait? What does conjunct mean?
So conjunct means like you are very close to each other, like you're right next to each like us. We're BFFs.
Oh, okay.
So
So
Mercury
literally the
and
definition of
Neptune.
conjunct.
Legit.
I was like, is that like a special term?
No,
But no,
so
it's
we're
literally-
conjunct. Drew conjunct Savannah right now.
No, honestly, I didn't know either. I was like, what? And I was like, I didn't learn this in Latin. Like, I can't pull from, like, a Latin background to
No,
understand
Right.
what
No,
that
you
well,
can't.
I
like,
don't know.
well, I just think conjunction, junction. What's your
Girl.
Mixing of words and turning out phrases. All right.
And it's
she
like when
remember?
like those things go together, like when the words go
Yes.
together. I
Schoolhouse Rock.
Word
Who would-
association. Turn
who
up.
would not remember.
I mean, who could not?
That's a classic that should have won a Grammy.
I mean, honestly, did it? Because we all
Did
know
it?
it. It's
No.
all in our repertoire at this
Tweet
point.
me if you know if it
Tweet
won a
us.
Grammy.
Tweet us.
Honestly, that's how I
It
passed
was such a
most of my
classic.
It
English
honestly
tests.
was.
That and
So-
like every song I use to memorize Latin words. Like
Oh man,
in
conjunction,
Latin
junction.
there are only 5 declensions. Do you remember that? Each
my God,
declension
Savannah.
you must memorize and say. Oh my gosh.
By the way,
I
literally
still
don't.
remember
I
those.
literally don't.
I think I'm
I
just
don't.
good at memorizing.
This Mercury conjunct, I'm sorry, Neptune is like very dreamy. So for Savannah to be like, hey, let's talk about conjunction junction, what's your function?
What?
Is
Your
pretty on
function.
point.
That is, because it's like, let's just dream about the past, present, future.
Let's
Correct.
dream. Let's get lost in our imagination in the throes
Well, I
of
think
creativity.
That's
Right.
kind of funny because
Yeah.
I just, like with my art show, I really had, I mean, I went through 8 months of pure, immersive, creative thinking.
Right.
Which is like, I vow to always be an immersive thinker, and like that's kind of like how I think my art is
Some
even
real Pisces
created.
shit.
But I just feel like recently, like coming back from Italy and having like, you know, like doing, like
Actually
being in
putting
Italy
action
and putting
to-
action to the experience and immersive, like creative,
Right.
kind of.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, there was
It
a
brings
lot
it
of
together.
flow, and my last few pieces that I did for the show had like these really, like profound parts that I didn't even expect to come out, and I think they were just kind of like these autonomous little flows, and this makes sense to have like these dreamlike
Sequences.
sequences that are kind of translating into
Right.
So it's-
creativity, because I just
Right.
I've experienced that a little bit.
So it was kind of like that, like, a new moon's coming, correct, Drew? Or it already,
Right.
it came today. Today's,
Today.
April
We're
5th.
recording on April
Yeah, we
5th.
should-
Right, and there's a new
Date, right.
moon in Aries
Oh, it's
trine.
cool. It's
April 5th.
It's
It is
trine
April 5th.
Jupiter, correct? And the new moon energy shift into Aries, the first sign of the zodiac, forces us to get in touch with the truth. But it sounds like Savannah got in touch with the truth very early.
Before that, yeah. So it's weird because Pisces are the last sign in the zodiac, and a lot of people see Pisces as like the grandfather or grandmother of the zodiac. Like they hold a lot of wisdom, and they kind of like exhibit like all of the qualities of the rest of the zodiac. So for Savannah to feel like the shift before the rest of us is very Pisces-like of her.
Yeah.
Because,
see it.
you know, and we just had this long retrograde, so
I'm just gonna-
it was a lot of introspective work for all of us, not just Pisces, for all of us. And that can be seen across the board on a world, like on a global scale. So we'll talk about that too.
I know, and then you also want to talk about Mars. I see you have Mars written down
yes,
here.
yes,
It's
yes.
like rules, power, empowerment, action, goals, how we assert ourselves, energy, desire. If that is not Savannah's energy right now,
Right. And that's everybody. Mars
That's everybody
energy
as well.
Yes, Mars energy is just coming back into our, like, I don't know, our psyche, just coming around us. And it entered Gemini, which is a very active sign, known for communicating, known for their, like, unique mind, learning styles, their intellect. Gemini also rules the media and early education.
oh man.
So,
One of my favorite podcast hosts is a Gemini.
is it Gemini?
Yeah, she's a Gemini.
Keep talking about
People
Gemini.
hate on Geminis.
I really don't like, guys.
she's, like,
nothing
really
against
awesome.
Gemini men, but like I have something against
What y'all
Gemini
doing,
men.
Gemini man?
I don't get it. I love Gemini women. Shout
Prove
out
us
Tina
wrong,
Fey.
I don't
Gemini
know.
man.
I honestly, because I don't ask people what their sign is, I don't know if I know any Geminis. I have no
Ask
But
clue.
you can
Ask.
like you know somebody
definitely have
based
to
on their
ask.
energy because
like
you're
I
a Pisces.
might, but
Like if someone
I
rubs
don't
you the wrong way, they're probably a Gemini. That's just me.
Ooh, she said
That's just
that.
me.
Ooh,
And I
she said
dropped the
that.
bomb and I'm leaving it there. Let's talk about Venus and Pisces.
You know what,
But listen,
Geminis?
though.
We love you. We're not hating on you.
yeah, we can't.
I am a little.
But, like, I just need to meet some great Gemini people in my life because I
Let's-
know that there are
Well,
great
listen,
Geminis
I'm
all
gonna
over the world.
throw it out there. The lady that hosts the podcast that I like,
Right
she's
there.
a Gemini, so she.
Guess who
and
else
she's
is a
great,
Gemini? Say it,
so-
Nene.
I already said Tina Fey.
Oh,
But like I said earlier,
my
I
idol.
only said Gemini men. I didn't say Gemini women or Gemini non-conforming people.
So we're just going to list two
But-
Gemini men right off the top of my head right now. Donald Trump,
oh,
Trent.
Kanye
Ooh.
West.
oh.
And I'm going to just leave that for y'all to think about.
We won't say
Right.
yeah. We'll
But
just,
let's just go on to Venus and Pisces. Let's not drop any more like atomic bombs.
No
on
more tea
Gemini
being
people,
spilled.
Gemini in general. Let's just
and
go
if
to
you
Venus.
if you're a Gemini guy and you're like, I'm not that bad,
His other placements must
ask
be
your
good.
friends
Ask your friends.
Ask your friends.
Or tweet us, you know?
because
What's
I'm
the-
At
sure
Drew Morgan Love.
there's always an exception to the rule.
Niece love it.
Da-da-da.
3 T's.
Oh, that's Savannah.
You heard.
Oh,
You heard.
that's Savannah.
Let's talk about Venus and Pisces. Let's talk about Venus and Pisces
I
though.
made that when I was
Because I mentioned it
middle
twice and
school.
everyone's like, what are you talking about probably?
So Venus is entering. Well, Venus entered Pisces.
Oh, okay.
And Venus is the planet of love, as we all know. We're all very concerned about our Venus and, you know, what's going on there.
Our Venus is our. Can I
Is-
say? Am I allowed to?
Oh,
Can I
please
say
talk,
vagina?
Savannah.
Okay, good. I wasn't sure if
I mean, you can say vagina.
we all should be able to say vagina,
Say
but I just
vagina.
wasn't. I
Vagina's
was like,
weird.
are you gonna be like, well, no, not you, but like, is it gonna be weird if I'm just like vagina
Listen,
people?
this podcast is about talking about real stuff. So if you're not ready for it,
If you want me to call vagina your V, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna call
Savannah's
it vagina.
not gonna do that.
So-
yes, Venus
sorry, I just had to
Venus
say
does
that.
kind of rule over your genitals, but also and your sexuality.
Yeah.
But also, Venus entered Pisces, and that's such a natural sign for Venus to be in as the planet of love, because Pisces is all about deep, unconditional,
I feel like we're very relationship.
beautiful, spiritual love, and it also like highlights the aesthetics in the arts community, in the music industry,
Savannah.
film, TV, fashion.
Everything's all
You know?
popping.
You know, we just like to get
What
lost
I
in the
love
sauce.
is that like I relate to all of those things. So I'm
Oh,
just
totally.
like I just am like, ooh,
So-
no wonder.
Right.
I feel
Right.
it.
So you're feeling the vibe. So Venus will be in Pisces until April 20th, 420. And, you know, everyone will be feeling like beautiful vibes until then.
I'm
And
excited. I
we'll
like-
move into Venus and Aries and we'll talk about that then.
I feel like it'll be very lovey. I'm excited.
Oh, I'm so lovey. Oh, and while Venus is in Pisces, and while we're moving out of the shadow period until April 17th, we should all think about integrating the aspects of forgiveness, compassion, healing, and like incorporating new thought patterns and new ways of being. Because after that long, long retrograde of like deep introspection and just, you know, a lot of stuff came up for a lot of people.
That was the worst retrograde, like
Great,
literally
right?
ever.
That it was
Retrograde.
deep. It was deep stuff, and I don't know.
I think I have to reflect back.
Yes.
I don't know what happened. I don't know what
Reflecting is
happened to
always
me,
good.
but
Especially as we move
But
into
I
spring.
moved past it.
but whatever it was,
I blocked it out.
I got over it.
I did that,
So I
and
think
I'm
it's
here
okay.
now. So like,
Right.
shoot.
Right.
All right. Well, now we're going to move into our Gen Z perspective. I'm sure you've heard of the Gen X perspective. You've heard of millennials.
Oh.
But we are Gen Z.
I don't know.
I didn't even know I was Gen Z.
Oh,
don't
I
know.
Googled this. I had to.
See, it's different based on the census. I say millennial because our parents are baby boomers. Sorry, Mom and Dad.
Shout out, Mom and Dad.
But then Savannah's probably Gen Z because her parents are not baby boomers.
This is true. Our parents are really old.
I say
Love them, though.
millennial anyway, but
We
I
could be
think because I feel like
millennials.
that's because I didn't even know there was like anything.
Let's
else.
just say
Oh,
we're,
no, I Googled it.
we're
I
generational.
just was like I thought I'm pretty
20
sure
something.
my younger
20-somethings.
brother is. I'm pretty sure my younger brother is Gen X.
Gen X, yeah.
Like
Yeah,
I'm
he
almost
is.
But, like, we're in
positive.
between.
But that's all I knew. Like
Like,
I was like
late 90s, early thousands.
It's just weird.
what you know about it.
We're all floaters, generational floaters.
I think millennials
just
is
love
like a
being
catch-all though. Like
Right.
saying millennials
People
like a
love to just say
catch-all,
millennials and then like
bash
shit on them.
It's so
Sorry.
annoying. I hate that.
So let's just
Again,
have a
add
good
a
millennial,
moment.
like let's be honest. I'm just like millennials are gonna be the people that solve so much like shit. So like stop shitting on stuff on millennials. Like
Deep.
they're gonna
Deep.
do so much more than what you're talking
We're gonna be the
about.
watchdogs to everything.
We're gonna
Wendy
have to
Williams,
fix
I'm
all
talking
of
to
this.
you.
Like, oh my
And
gosh.
Speaking of,
I'm talking to you, Wendy Williams.
Well, I saw an article.
Yo.
Okay, go. I'll drop that later.
Okay, moving on to our pop culture hot topics. Our first one is Wendy Williams
Yeah.
and the drama surrounding her life, relationship, and show.
The hot goss, as Savannah would say.
So let's drop it.
Always.
Wendy is a hot
Always
TV
hot
host. Wendy is a TV host who has hot topics and usually spills a lot of gossip and tea about celebrities that like normally people wouldn't know.
And it's scathing hot tea.
Scathing.
Like it's
I
not
think
like
honestly,
intense.
like
It's
I've only
piping
ever
hot.
watched highlights of her show. Like I think I've only ever sat down and watched like 3 or 4 full episodes.
Oh my God, Savannah.
I know.
It's
'Cause
amazing.
I'm like, I know. I feel like I just like I'll watch a highlight or two because I'm like, oh, she said this or she had this interview or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But like for whatever, like I never turn on the TV and just watch it, you know.
I mean, it is what it is.
But I have no reason why or why not. It's just that's who I am.
No, it's fine. I mean, I catch like glimpses of hot topics.
I feel like I like that with a lot of shows though.
Like I catch up just on like Instagram, I think.
yeah,
Like if
that's
it's on my explore page,
but
I'm like,
that's
all right,
me
what was
with,
she
like,
talking about?
so much, like so many other shows too.
It's hard being a
I know.
college student and actually watching daytime TV.
Having
but-
time to watch TV.
Right. But
I
like my
know.
classes, like thank you comm journal department, but most of them are in the afternoon, so I have time to watch Wendy.
So break down
Mine
Wendy.
are in the morning.
So,
it sucks.
Let's break down
About 2 weeks ago, Wendy was on air. I'm sitting in my bed, eating my breakfast, and she just breaks down and is like, I'm gonna tell y'all my truth. I've been living in a sober house
I saw that.
for the past, I don't know how long, while. And after the show, I go to the sober house after my Pilates and after my meetings. She didn't specify what kind of meetings she was
We all
going
know
to.
it's AA, Wendy.
It's AA, NA,
AAW.
Whatever
something.
you gotta do, you know.
And you know what? Yes.
It's
And
what you need to do, and that's okay.
There's nothing wrong with that.
elaborate, yes. I'm so proud of Wendy for actually being honest with us. And like, she didn't have to tell the public.
I don't know
That's
if she was
her issue.
completely honest though.
Spill the tea.
It's not completely like transparent, which I get it. You're in the public eye. You don't want to have all your business out there, but all your business is already out there because your husband has been in the tabloids saying that he's been messing around with the mistress who he's had for years, and
Years.
you've known about it,
Years.
Yeah.
and you're just now doing something about it, probably because little Kev left.
Right.
Correct.
So allegedly, her husband, Kevin Hunter, has had a mistress since 2006. We don't know if Wendy knew about it or not, but
I want to say yes.
at this time we want to say she knows because, I mean, it's on every
Right.
news outlet.
But the reason I think she was so distraught is because the mistress had a baby.
She had a baby.
with Big Kev.
With Big Kev.
Goodness.
Right. And I think she just, like, went a downward spiral in, like, January and February until she came back on the show.
She was, like, on her show in the fall, and she had something happen to her arm, like, her shoulder was broken.
Remember she passed out?
Yeah,
She passed out.
In the Statue
She
of
was
Liberty.
slurring her words in a few shows, like, and there are always rumors that, like, there are issues going on with her marriage, but, like...
You can't always believe rumors.
Right. But now that she said she's getting help, I'm like, all right, props to you, and what has pushed you to get to this point?
Right. And also, Drew, you were saying earlier, like, a lot of the female guests that come on her show were, like, giving her, like, subliminal
messages, like,
saying, like, women can do it on their
showing
own,
her, yeah.
you know, like, women can make money on their own, they can have their own, like, TV show and host it, and
Right.
she's just, like, kind of, like, brushes it off.
right.
So, like, come on.
It's interesting. And then last week, she and her husband show up on the streets of New York in front of Paps, and you know, like, when you're gonna get photographed like that, you do it on purpose, and, like, you go somewhere that you'll be seen.
Yeah.
And Wendy was with her husband.
Especially with, like, this kind of stuff
With this,
coming out.
yes,
So,
yes.
like, I mean, I'm not a celebrity, but, like...
Oh, no, none of us
We all like to...
Like
we
voyeurs.
all like to follow the celebs. You know, the people
Always,
we
always.
are like, ooh, what they doing?
We're
What
waiting
are
for
they
the hot
up
goss.
Yeah, the hot goss is what I'm here for.
hot goss.
Always. But, like, you know that when a scandal comes out, sometimes celebrities will, like, do that kind of stuff. They'll, like, go on an outing or, like, kind of make a small appearance. And it depends on, like, what it is. Like, sometimes they'll wait a long time, or, like, sometimes they'll, like, to kind of... I feel like there's two options. Like, they'll wait forever and, like, not go outside or,
Right.
like, not be seen.
Kylie Jenner, it, you know.
Or...
Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Taylor Swift.
Where,
Yeah.
Where
So
you been?
many
Emma Stone,
examples.
Andrew Garfield, but they
I
did it for,
like
like, a
them, though.
reason,
I
so
like
it's
them.
fine.
But then there's, like, some celebs which, like, within a week of it happening, they'll go out or, like, go get coffee and,
Right.
like, be like, oh, no, oh, my gosh, the paparazzi's
right.
here.
Like, oh, I'm so...
Oh,
right.
I'm wearing a baseball cap.
Right.
Right.
Like,
Oh,
we know it's
You can still
staged.
see
I
my
got
whole
my-
face.
oh,
I'm
oh my
ready.
gosh, my...
I've got full
I
hair
have-
and makeup.
We know it's staged because we
Good
all
thing I
watched.
have my
We all watched
bronzer.
that
Like-
finale of The Hills where we found out reality TV is fake.
You know what? That
So I
hurt
can
me to
spot,
my
I can
Oh.
spot a fake
I'm
outing
still
in a
not
second.
okay from that.
Oh, my God.
We love you, Elsie.
Elsie, we love you. Oh, and Elsie's pregnant with her second baby.
Oh my God! Cheers.
Sending love and light to her.
Mazel. I'm not Jewish, but okay.
Congratulations.
But yeah, so I just want to give a brief synopsis of Wendy's chart just to give you guys a little background. She is a Cancer sun, a Scorpio moon, and a Scorpio rising.
Wow. Wow.
I'm just gonna let y'all sit with that for a moment.
Yeah, like
So Cancers are known for being very loyal. They're great nurturers, great mothers, great teachers. They tend to hide whenever they're nervous. They tend to go in their shell, if you will.
does this prove what I said?
They're very moody people,
Does this prove what I said?
but they're good people to a fault, you know? And her Scorpio moon tells me that her emotions are very intense because Scorpio is a sign of, it's a water sign, so it's very intense and it's flowing and it's
What Drew's trying to say is deep. Thou hast no fury, like a Scorpio woman scorned.
honestly, that should be the quote. I'll
Honestly.
have no fury, like a Scorpio woman scorned.
Honestly,
Oh, my.
It's true tea.
I don't know what
was
she's gonna do.
So
very-
Wendy's got the Scorpio moon and the
Wow.
Scorpio rising. So like this girl's not messing when it comes to her relationships and when it comes to people close to her. And you know, we're just rooting for you, Wendy.
Here we go.
We just want to tell you,
Yeah,
we're,
I'll tell
we're on your side, girl. We just want you to be a happy woman. Yeah. And so now we're gonna
Let's
move.
talk about someone I'm not rooting for.
Oh.
Like
Who
I
aren't you
don't
rooting
ever,
for?
I don't want to root for his music at all.
Oh, my gosh.
I root for the women
This is
who
like-
came out.
Oh, my God.
Let's talk
Always.
about R. Kelly. Trash human being.
I have so much.
Yikes.
A trash human being.
That's her opinion.
It is my opinion.
But let me just give his chart.
Yeah, go
Just to
ahead.
give y'all a little background. He was born on January 8th, 1967. He's a Capricorn sun.
He's that old?
Yeah,
Yes.
he's that old.
He is a Scorpio moon.
That old. That's
Scorpio
why it's
moon.
not okay.
And he is a Pisces rising.
Huh.
Did you know?
No.
So, a lot has been going on with R. Kelly. There's way too much to even try to summarize at this point. But as 3 women who identify as feminists,
Oh, shit.
we wanted to highlight this topic. And we will continue to highlight it.
And other topics like that.
Well,
Yes.
I'm gonna be honest here. I will continue to speak for women like in this situation for as long as I possibly can. Like I do not care. Like one, of course I don't want to see another story like this. Of course I don't want to hear
Never.
about women being taken advantage of
Mm-hmm.
by someone who feels the need to use their power, use their fame, and their reputation to take advantage of women. I don't want to, talk about those stories all the time, but, I will.
But I
Because,
will.
these freaking women need a voice, and they need to be talked about.
Right.
They need to be,
The victims,
they're,
definitely.
yeah,
Yes.
we can't just brush it under the rug, and, there's a lot
And we
of
won't.
other things.
Not after Me Too.
Yeah.
I feel like that
I
has really just empowered, so many women
Oh, yes.
to just take a stand and to not be afraid of the backlash. And to those who still feel like they can't come out, we're still with you.
Of course.
And we
because,
always will be.
And we're here to listen, too.
Yeah,
Like,
always.
hashtag Me Too. Like, I hashtag Me Too to the girls who are too afraid to say Me Too right now. Because, it's okay. Like, it's not like, oh my gosh, you won't admit to, your trouble or your triumph.
Right.
No.
That's your own journey. Like,
Right.
you have every right to stay silent.
And it takes a lot of
And you have
guts.
every right to be loud.
Right.
So it's ooh, Me Too has made me so happy because I feel like there's been such a great embrace of all women in their own journey and their own story of
Absolutely.
this is what's happened to me.
Right.
This is what I
Absolutely.
feel.
Right.
And with R. Kelly, it's just brought up this whole other,
Oh my god.
section of Me Too where it's we feel like these girls are being oppressed and abused. What can we do? A, to help them, and B, to help other girls understand that this is not the way. And understand that that being an independent woman and being someone who thinks for themselves is a good thing.
Of course.
Right,
it
it's
is.
something that you can strive for. Not saying that,
Not saying that they aren't thinking for themselves,
Right. but you have the
Got a lot of
opportunity to. It's
questions.
there. It's there if you want to take it.
Well, also, and with someone of his stature and
The status, yeah.
he's got this reputation. I think of I Believe I Can Fly. He's got this reputation of this ooh.
we'll talk. Yeah, we both watched the documentary.
Yeah, the documentary kind of outlined that all too. Of he's got this reputation, and
He appeals to
He,
children.
tries
He
to
appeals to
appeal-
religious people.
yeah, and he, I think, knows that, and I think he
Feeds off it.
feels that he is untouchable because of that, which sickens me to the core.
You know what
because
I'm-
nobody's untouchable when it comes to the rights of women.
I agree.
Yes,
Human
word.
beings, come on.
You know what
What were
I'm
you gonna
really wondering about now? Because, today, I saw on Bethany Frankel's Instagram, Vanity Fair hosted the Women in Power Luncheon. And Gayle King introduced the 3, I guess,
Gayle.
main
she was amazing in that
main
interview.
women
Yeah, she
who came out against R. Kelly.
Mm-hmm.
Mercury Shadow, guys.
It's all right. Get it.
And they spoke, and there literally was not a dry eye in the place. But I feel like that platform can sometimes only exist in those spheres where it's just women. Not saying that, that platform shouldn't exist, because it should. Experience of women of different diverse backgrounds
Yeah.
should converge in one place, but it should also converge out in the real world past the identity of women. It should be on the forefront of Sirius XM radio. It should be headlines on New York Times. It should be headlines in Washington Post. Whatever it is, because everyone can relate to a story of
These women.
these women and
Of
the tragedy that
#MeToo,
they went
of-
through. They can empathize with this and
Yes.
get empowered through that empathy.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't just be women. It should be men. It should be mothers educating their children. It should be everyone in America.
Everyone. Yeah, this is a teachable.
He for she.
There you go.
Like,
he for she hashtag.
Hashtag that.
I mean,
Cut here,
so we're going to be talking about R. Kelly a lot more, and we're going to have a lot of other people on to give their take, give their
as things
academic
open.
and educational take on it, not just our opinion. But we just wanted to open the discussion and tweet us if you feel any type of way about this R. Kelly situation. At Drew Morgan Love, at
It's 3 Ds. ENICE.
At Oh That Savannah.
LOVETTT.
We gotta get serious now because a very
Yeah.
tragic thing happened on Sunday, March 31st. Nipsey Hussle died. He was a rapper, Grammy-nominated rapper,
Rest in peace.
and he was shot and killed in front of his store in Los Angeles Sunday afternoon. So we just wanted to highlight him because, honestly, I never listened to him. I didn't know who he was.
I did not either.
After his death, I did some research, and there were so many news stories, like local news stories and national, like showing how he invested in his community and how he was just very, very passionate about, just activism in general. So we wanted to highlight him and just talk about his chart a little bit and, just show him some love because rest in peace.
He and his family deserve
Yes.
peace and love.
Oh yes.
And
I
his
mean-
community deserves peace.
When someone
This journey.
What was his astrological?
His
chart
astrological
look
sign.
like? Yeah, what does it
He
look
was a Leo sun, a Leo moon, and a Pisces rising.
Very into aesthetics. Wow.
So Leos are known for being the leaders of the zodiac. Leo is representative of the lion, and we all know the lion is the king of the jungle. So, you want to know who else is a Leo? Barack Obama. So I just want to say, Nipsey, we're so grateful for you. We're thankful for you, and it's just great to have a positive role model in the Black community. He created a lot of small businesses, many small businesses in the South Los Angeles area, in the Crenshaw area, which is mostly minorities. He would employ recent prison people,
Like
parolees who just got out of prison. He would
amazing.
he would employ people on the street who had never had a job and try to rehabilitate them. He would invest in education. He invested in the elementary schools around him and the activities that they
And
did for the community.
This was in LA, right?
Yes, Crenshaw, Los Angeles.
That's like so.
Crenshaw.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
They need that. Like.
I mean,
What-
we
I
all
don't
need
think
it,
what-
right?
They really,
Yeah.
but like, there's so many places. Like, I work in education, and I know that there are like so many places in America, like in our backyards, that like need that kind of influence. And for him to be doing that in LA, a place that's so
Right.
populated, where like, okay, 90210, like they're living in frickin' the nicest mansions,
Luxury.
and I'm sure
Real
he-
Housewives of Beverly Hills,
like,
we see you, girl.
I am sure he could afford that too. But
he could.
But he's giving his all to kids who are living
Exactly.
in slums, and I love that.
His
like,
wife-
that's just so special.
It was, and his wife is Lauren
His
London.
girlfriend.
Were they married?
I thought it was his girlfriend.
Okay, well, they had a baby together. Lauren London. And they were just featured in a magazine, like, living the luxurious life and just
wow.
kind of explaining how they like to give back to their community and how they didn't care about becoming rich and famous. They cared about investing in the future, which is what we all strive to do,
Right.
you know?
I feel like that should be the mindset of all millennials, Gen X, Gen Z, WX, WW, whatever generation you are.
Yes.
True.
You should empower yourself now to fertilize the future. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like
Also
you need to give back to your
We want our children's
Yeah.
future to be great. We want it to be every
And
generation. She was actually thought to have been gang related. No one knows for sure yet. That is alleged. But a lot of people have thought that it was out of jealousy or from a rival gang. So we will see. But Nipsey was known to have gone to rallies rallying for against gun violence. And he actually was planning on meeting with the LAPD to talk about gang violence in Los Angeles before he passed away. They're still planning on having that meeting. Oh. Congresswoman Karen Bass from California is actually going to honor Nipsey on the House floor next week.
That's beautiful.
So that's pretty exciting as well. Now we're going to move into some politics.
I'm putting my.
We're going to break it down with some Trump
news
tweets.
and politics. Savannah's going to cleanse her third eye right now.
My crystal
Let's all
on
just
because
get ready
when
before we
start
get into
talking
this.
About, you know who I.
You get anxious. Yeah, so I'm going to start out with a segment called Today in Trump Tweets.
Oh my
Anyway.
gosh.
I looked on Donald Trump's Twitter to find some information. It's a lot of guys. To find some information for this segment. And honestly, there's a lot of things to pick from that we could have a discussion about, but I feel like this one's the most relevant as it pertains to the pop culture items we talked about.
Okay, break it down,
Okay.
break it down,
I'm
break it
ready.
down.
So basically this tweet, all caps, he says, "Welcome back, Joe." It's a video of Joe Biden.
Oh my god, I saw
It's
it.
40 seconds long, either a minute 14 seconds, or it's 40 seconds long. I forget. I want to say a minute and 14 long. Check Twitter. Check Donald Trump's Twitter.
I haven't seen it, so because I
What?
I literally stay off Twitter now because I don't want to see his tweets.
I unfollowed him, but sometimes I gotta
don't-
No,
follow
I
him to see
unfollowed
what
him
he
too, but I
tweeted.
was like, but anyway,
I
it's
can't deal
this
with it.
video of Joe that he tweeted, and Joe's like, I always encourage people when I'm out on the campaign trail, I'll go up and like, I'll put my hands on a man's shoulders and like whisper in his ear and be like, yeah, you got it, man, or like, I'll kiss a baby, or like, I'll go up on a woman and like put my hands on her shoulder and be like, yeah, you can do this, girl. I
Joe,
support you,
you
girl.
can just see, like, Google it. Joe is very handsy with people.
really is.
Yeah.
And
But
I'm
there's
not gonna say
also
anything
like
else.
a cartoon Joe while he's explaining. The camera like pans. It's like a wide angle and then it goes into like a smaller angle of Joe like talking about his hand placement on his shoulders. And it's literally this cartoon Joe that's like popping up behind a couch, disappears, pops up behind the couch again, disappears, puts both hands on Joe, the cartoon hands on Joe while he's explaining this, and then like
this
is
was the
kissing
video
Joe.
that Donald Trump made.
Donald Trump tweeted this. I don't know if he made it.
Did he make it?
I don't know if he made it. But like, guys,
I haven't seen it. Can I look at this?
that's a picture.
Oh.
Honestly, I
Is
saw
it
it
on
this
here?
morning.
No.
Joe quoted it and was
Oh.
like, oh, this is what you're doing with your day, or something like that.
Right.
And honestly, yeah.
But I'm like, why are you tweeting this?
I'm with you, Joe, but also, Trump, what are you doing? You're being investigated right now, and there's a lot of other things that you could be working on.
Right.
Not just attacking the people who may run against you.
Right. Like, this is just weird. And there's a lot of hypocrisy going on that we could get into, but then this podcast would be an hour long.
Oh, we'll have a whole different show about Joe
Right.
and his touching and
Right.
how he claims he's changing.
Speaking of Don, let's just talk
Donnie
about some
boy.
other things that have been happening. Drew, you just mentioned this like 30 seconds ago.
Oh, yeah.
Mueller probe. Break
So
it down.
we've been talking about Robert Mueller's Russia probe about, looking into the Trump administration and possible collusion between Russia. And, I've been following it for the past 2 years since Trump was elected. I still remember the day Trump was elected.
I cried.
Savannah cried.
I'm not even. I got really. I'm like, not even kidding.
Or is she a snowflake?
No.
Ooh, she's hurt. She's hurt.
I'm not. But I was so emotional. I was very emotional.
No, it was an emotional day.
And
I
it
remember.
wasn't even. But it was. I've
Savannah
had
is
life
a white
lot
woman.
differently.
Savannah's a
happens.
white woman who happens to be white. If you don't know the term, search Amanda Seales on Twitter and DM her, and she'll
That
DM
is
you back.
Amanda
That's a-
Seales, Seales.
That's a major compliment. But I just was like thinking to all my friends who are like totally different ethnicities and races and like sexual orientations and like everything other than who I am. And I was like, things are gonna change a lot. Or like I just was worried for them.
Mm-hmm.
Like I honestly was. And I think it's because I tend to be empathetic. So like
Pisces.
I think about other people, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like, what's their life gonna be like?
That's so good, though.
You
But
know?
thinking about other people, though, like...
Yes.
So I was really sad.
That's something that our
Just
president
sad.
lacks. I'm sorry, but it's blatant.
But does he really? He thinks about Democrats all the time.
He
What do you
thinks
mean?
about people that are a threat to him. He
Yeah.
doesn't... If you look at, like, him talking to, like, victims of anything, like, I don't feel any type of empathy. I mean, I'm not the victim, so, like, it's not my job to feel it. But at the same time, it's just, like... The man is just barbaric.
So let's just get into Mueller again.
Let's get into Mueller. So, Mueller is a Leo, and he is a Pisces moon.
Man.
So, he's got a lot inside, you know? As a Pisces moon, your moon represents your emotions, your emotional needs. And Pisces is very vast.
Do you know his rising or no?
I do not know his rising.
Okay.
Not at the top of my head. But, so, the probe was released on March 26th, and that was 2 days before the retrograde was actually over, March 28th. So, if the report is released during Mercury retrograde, Mercury being the planet of communication, mental processes, documents, writing, you know, communication overall. You probably shouldn't release a report or anything like that during the retrograde because there are going to be issues. There are going to be things that aren't clear. There are going to be illusions. And that's exactly what the American public got. Attorney General Barr, came out with a letter talking about the summary, some points about the overall report. And it basically said that Donald Trump was exonerated of all charges. To which Donald Trump took a joyride to Mar-a-Lago and partied it up last weekend.
Whooped it up.
Him and all his fam.
Of course.
All the Trumps.
Right.
But,
Let's
the
move away
shadow-
from that, though.
The shadow period is not over.
Yeah.
And the Democrats are really, really pushing for, you know, the release of the report, a full, transparent release. And I don't know if we'll actually get it, but if we will, it will be after or near April 17th,
And
the
I just-
end of the shadow period.
I mean, like, no matter what it says, it should be fully released, you know?
It should be
even
transparent
if
for the public.
Like, it just, whatever
Mm-hmm.
it says, that kind of stuff should be crystal clear.
I feel like we should know.
Things are going on.
I mean,
It's not
we're going
okay
to be
withhold
voting in
information.
2020. I think that there are a lot of issues that need to be cleared up, a lot of things that need to be, like, emphasized to the American people before we actually pick someone to rule our country again because, you know, we got ourselves into a little bit of a pickle
A little
bit.
pickle.
last time.
So get out and vote and know
So,
it's important.
we will be
It should
following.
be a national holiday, I'm just saying.
Yes.
Plug in that.
Yeah.
We will be following these politics very close, very, very closely, and highlighting these with some astrological transits and
Do your
Info.
thing.
Yeah.
Support women.
All
Yeah.
right,
Okay,
Savannah.
Savannah's always plugging that. So
We're literally about to get into your interview.
we're just gonna go into it now. Though.
Oh my
Edie,
gosh.
you wanna talk about it?
Yeah, I mean, I already mentioned like literally earlier in this podcast, like within the first couple minutes. Savannah is a senior here at SU. She's an art major whose work is being debuted in the Kaufman Art Gallery.
It came down today.
It came down today, and I know it's like really sad, but like it's still really cool.
Very sad.
There's a lot of pics. Follow her Instagram for her art. What is it? Oh, that's Savannah Art
Yeah.
on
You
Instagram.
can, if you go to Oh That's Savannah on anything,
Right.
you can find it.
Right, so let's kind of delve into your like inspiration for your artwork, because your artwork is in abstract like collage form, right? But you also have some other interpretations that you put into it, like feminism or like family or like subconscious. Or let's get into that.
Yeah, so I feel like so for my senior body of work, I had 8 months to create a full series of work, but that was in mixed media, which is like my primary media, which is what I love using. And, but prior to that, I have worked in so many other mediums and have really, before I started doing this series, which was all based on autonomous thinking, how I react to my own environment of my life experience, what I've gone through, and just kind of this I called it my visual vocabulary on the page. So I just kind of sat and painted and layered upon layered this constructed this visual vocabulary, this book of pieces. I had 13 in total. 9 of them got in the show.
Congrats.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's big though. 9 of them got in the show.
9
She
of
got
them
choked
got in
up,
the
guys.
show.
9 of them got in the show.
Which was a big deal, and I was really excited. It was just like a huge relief because I really did put my like whole heart on the wall.
Yeah, and it sounds like it wasn't even like just your whole heart. It was also your whole mind and spirit in your work.
Yeah,
and on the wall.
don't minimize,
I mean,
Don't
it's
minimize
kind
the
of like, so I'm inspired by a lot of artists, but I find, I don't think that female artists are talked about enough in anything.
Word.
So as an art major, as an active artist who shows and like works every day, I am like, we need to be talking about this. We need to be inspired by each other and push each other. So people like Marina Abramovich, Lisa Kongdan, Kongdan, I'm going to say that wrong, Swoon.
Yep.
So many of these women are working right now, currently, and are doing pieces that are evoking emotion, are evoking movements, and I'm just like, that's the kind of life that I want to live. Like, Marina Abramovich speaks to art as a lifestyle and as a mindset, and that's the way that I seek to live my life. Is art is my art. Art is my life. Art is my outlook. Art is the way that I live and breathe, and it's like my pieces. I want to amplify that, and I want, like, the pieces that I did in the show, a lot of them had to do with just like my own experience. So when I was like a child, I had a house fire, and
How old were you?
I was
like 4?
Maybe 4. Yeah. And I don't like it. It was a big thing for my family, and I remember it slightly. And I was really young, so like I shouldn't really remember it, but like I do,
But
which
it's
is kind of
it's
weird.
traumatic.
It's traumatic.
Yeah. So
It's a traumatic experience.
So, but I did a piece that was kind of like this almost autonomous experience, and it involved like, I don't know, it involved like this image of a house, and there was like red coming out of it, and there was all these like speech bubbles, and I did it not even thinking that it related to like this experience in my life. And when I looked back on it, I was like, oh my gosh, this is like my brain literally translating my experience into artwork.
That's
so I just kind of like went with that idea and started collecting photographs from like old antique stores, and like started just grabbing and gravitating towards what I thought would evoke emotion in other people and what I thought would evoke emotion in myself, and altered it, like did so much to the images that were like done on the page to kind of evoke these same emotions and stuff. But I have done other pieces in the past. Like I've done a series of drawings of like female bodies, talking about like images of women.
You're a feminist.
I did a series on
Yes.
censorship where I like did prints of women, and then I like censored their body parts, their vaginas and boobies.
Right.
I actually did a
Venuses.
performance piece.
Venus.
I did a performance piece where I wore a tunic of my boobs and vaginas, spray painted on it, and I put a TV on my head.
So, like, if you didn't know, Savannah's a feminist.
So I kind of like have done a lot of stuff that speaks towards what it is to be a woman, what it is to be an artist, and the work that I did for my senior body, the 8 months, was my blood, sweat, and tears.
Right.
And I think it was a subtle way of speaking about women, which I think is something I haven't done in a really long time. Because I think that sometimes people think that in order to talk about a really important subject, you have to be really loud about it to make people hear you.
Yeah.
But personally, I believe, yeah, that works. But it means a lot when you're subtle towards the subject and you do something that is like really, you know, sweet and you know, pinpoints something in a subtle way. So I think my pieces
do
just that.
Yeah, and you talked about memories and like having this sort of nostalgia, or maybe not so much nostalgia, happen. Sort of maybe transitioning off of that, like, do you have any good nostalgic memories of SU?
Oh.
Since you're a senior, I just want to know, like, good memories of student life, or like some classes that you took that
I
were
could talk
like,
about a few about me and Savannah.
right, that was some classes that like stuck out in your mind,
Kreiner
or,
the
like,
Finer Diner.
I was honestly
right.
just gonna say that.
Or, like,
I
professors.
was gonna
Stuck
say
out.
Kreiner the Finer Diner.
That they're now closing.
right,
which
like,
is like a heartbreak.
Which is
talk
very
about your
sad.
like
Listen, they
desserts that
used
you
to
always
have-
get.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wait, they used to have spinach and Alfredo pizza at Kreiner the Finer Diner.
That pizza.
On, like,
so good.
Tuesdays.
That pizza.
It would only be on
Every
Tuesdays. So
Tuesday.
like, and if you weren't there at the certain time, like, you were not
And
getting
we
a
would
slice.
get it and
We would
carry
run.
it to class.
Oh my
We would eat the entire pizza.
And we'd
Seriously.
be like,
Remember they had gyros too? That was the
had
first time I ever had gyros.
everything.
And then Savannah would always get like a s'mores Rice Krispie.
Yeah.
I got shit.
Which was
Oh
like the
my
s'mores
God.
Rice Krispie. First of all, was the jam.
It was, okay, wait.
What
can
was
I
it?
just say?
It was like Golden Grams, right?
Yeah, it was made with golden grams.
Just
And
say
then
it.
like mini
Now-
marshmallows and chocolate
Give them
chips.
a Kreiner recipe.
Okay, I just want to say this.
What?
If you haven't, if you're listening to this and you haven't tried Golden Grams cereal, then go get in your car right now.
Savannah's doing a plug
Get
of
in your
Coke.
car
So serious right now.
right now.
She's like
She
putting,
looked-
like there's a triangle, the triangle of truth.
Right
And she
now.
literally
Like
looked
my
deeply
palms
into Drew's
together.
eyes and said,
better-
"You need to try Golden
Try
Grams."
Golden Grams.
Well, no, I'm gonna tell them this, okay?
Try
The whole
with-
time.
Let's
Okay.
talk about an academic nostalgic memory. Like, who is a professor,
Okay.
like freshman, sophomore year,
Oh, I have such a good one. Okay.
that
I'm really
sticks out in
excited.
your mind? Let's go.
Okay, so I'm
already know who you're
an
gonna say.
art major. You know who I'm gonna say?
No, just go ahead.
Okay. Well, I'm an art major, and there's a professor. I won't say who. I don't want to like plug
shout
too
him
hard.
out,
Should
why
I?
not?
Okay. Professor
her.
Campbell.
I knew it, guys. Pisces, I knew it.
He's
From the
he's
Shippensburg
hard,
University
but
Art
listen,
Department.
like, oh my gosh, I can't thank him and Professor Wiley enough, but like they kind of really shaped my education here. But I was a sophomore. I was horrified because all I had ever heard was he was really, really hard, and so everyone like told me this. And I had him for Color in 2D, which is like one of our like core foundation courses. And I was so nervous, and I just was like, this is going to be so scary. I had him for other classes too, but this is like my first one. I was a sophomore. There were like 14 of us that started in the class. By the end, there were like, I think there were 8 or 9.
Oh my god.
Because everyone else dropped, and I realized then, I was like, he's the type of professor that kind of takes no BS. So like he separates like the wheat from the shaft. That's like old school term, but like
Shaft?
he does
You're
that.
Pisces, you're old school, it's fine.
Yeah, like he does that like really early on because he looks at you and is like, are you real about this? Like, are you serious about being an artist? Because if you're not, like,
There's the
do
door.
something else. Like, get out of here. Because this is where people who want to thrive as artists and be creative and learn are. And if you take the time to listen to him and what he has to say and what he expresses through his teaching, I learned like so much. Even though like some of the like assignments are so time consuming, like we had to do these like crazy color wheels that we had to like trace, like they had to be perfect, and we had to mix all the color by hand, and you had to trace little like coins to get the perfect size of each circle, and they were these like intense things. But I learned so much about color theory that it made me like 10 times better as an artist.
It led you to where you are now.
Oh my gosh, like
And
I
look at you
wouldn't
now,
know
girl.
what I
Right.
know today if it wasn't for that class and that professor. And still one of my besties. I just literally came here from, like, being with him in the gallery and doing stuff because he's, like, so great. And just, like, when you get to know him, if you're a freshman and you're like, Professor C scares me, he's not scary. Like, he's genuinely, if you put the effort in and don't, excuse my French, fuck around. If you don't, like, just, like, you know, do stuff that you're not supposed to do and act like you don't want to be there, then of course you're going to have a bad experience with him.
You're going to gain respect if you, like, stick it out.
But you, like, if you
and do your
take
work.
the time.
Come to college and major in something if you want to do it.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the point.
Well, my biggest pet peeve, okay, I'm just going to say this. Biggest pet peeve, don't choose to be an art major because you think it's easy. Because that's my biggest pet peeve. Being an art major is not easy. I swear
Nothing's ever
to
easy.
you, I've slept in that art department. I have.
I've heard of a lot of students who have literally slept there overnight.
I
woken up and
have.
Like,
I'm one of them.
Right, yeah.
I'm not kidding. I would sleep in the one couch that's by the, for those of you who are used to the building, the mat cutting station. There's a couch there. I would sleep there. And one morning, Professor C came in and saw me there, and he was like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "I just came here really early." And the truth was, I had slept there all night.
He knew you slept here. True tea. You slept here, though.
I had been working on a project, and I just, like, you get to the point where you have to live there, and I don't feel like there are a lot of majors like that here. And I also, like, if there are, like, shout them out. But I mean,
journalism.
yeah, like, they're here, but it's like art is kind of one of those ones where you're literally living in studio space. And if you're an art major and you're not living in the studio space,
You
get
better
your
have
act
a studio
together, and you better be living in the studio space.
Right.
Because the resources are there, and it's important.
Let's talk about your future plans.
Okay.
I know we're gonna move out west. I don't know.
New Mexico.
Are you gonna do school? Are you gonna chill for a second? Let yourself breathe.
So, this goes back to another professor who's awesome. Professor Wiley right now is helping me formulate my graduate school portfolio. So it's like the portfolio that I'm compiling of everything I've done through my 4 years at college that I will present to, when I apply to graduate school, it's what I'll present to, like, the board who, like, interviews me and stuff. And I look to apply to the University of New Mexico for their art studio graduate program, which is really, really awesome. And I've researched it now for a few months. I'm definitely not, like, I have not researched everything I need to research, but I feel like I feel solid about the plan of, like, applying there and
wanting to go
there, living in New Mexico and, like, wanting to go there because, one, it's a total change of scenery, total, like, change of culture, and I think that as an artist, if you don't take a risk, then what are you doing? You know?
True
Deep.
Like, for real. Like, artists need to take risks in order to grow, and so that's kind of what I feel. But I plan on, like, taking the summer to kind of experience more of, like, okay, I'm gonna make a lot of art and apply in the fall and see what I get to do. You know?
All right, yeah,
We're
thanks.
looking forward to seeing, like, how that works out.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
I'm excited.
You know, we're rooting for you.
Again, follow that Savannah Art
that.
to get those updates on her experience out west.
It's gonna be funny.
So now, do you want to move into, like, some upbeat stories? Because we talked about some
To end our little podcast, we're gonna give some highlights of the week.
We had a lot
some
of
little,
good
just
things.
like, you know,
some
happy things,
nuggets of gold,
nuggets
and
of love
happiness. Yeah.
throughout the week.
So today, I don't know if you guys are huge Khalid fans, but he dropped his album today, and it's called Free Spirit.
Yeah.
Okay. Because he's a free spirit. I don't know his sign, but I'm thinking water.
I feel like it's a water.
I
Libra.
haven't listened to it yet, so.
But it's really good. I got some notes.
Oh, she did an
In my
analysis.
phone. I got a whole thing.
I'm ready.
It features 17 songs, which is a lot for an album.
That's a lot.
That is
I know.
a lot.
But I
Oh
mean,
my
like,
God.
He's
everyone...
been working. I can respect that.
Right, he's been working for, like, a year. It's been a year since his last drop, correct?
I feel like it's been more than a
It's
year.
either been a year or, like,
because
2
he
or
came
3.
out with his first album when he got out of high school, and I was like, yeah.
21 now. Oh, it's been 3 years.
It's been 3 years, and I was like,
Correction.
I'm done with Young, Dumb, and Broke.
Right.
I'm old smart and rich.
True.
Speak into existence.
The
I'm
goals.
rich.
I'm old,
That's what we
smart,
want.
and
Right.
rich.
So like the 17 songs, considering the years in the gap between his first and now his sophomore album, like it's fine, and they're worth the listen. But
If you say so.
my interpretation of it has been like he stays kind of true to his first album. It's sort of the same melodies, same indie sort of interpretation, same like Western interpretation, Southern California.
from El
like,
Paso,
yeah,
right?
like it's him. It's
Yeah.
definitely still him from that
Yeah,
first
he's from
album.
Texas.
It wasn't like a drastic change like Madonna or something.
You know what? Madonna's the best.
Listen,
That's all I gotta say.
let me preach more about Khalid.
Here we go.
His
Preaching
song,
this.
we got a taste of his song. I don't know if you guys had heard it on the radio, if you listened to the radio, or if you've seen it pop up on like your radio on Spotify or Pandora or whatever streaming service you're on. But he
on
came out with
Spotify.
an EP, I think probably a month ago. Talk. I've heard it literally 80 times at the gym. I work at the gym.
Give a little gist of
Oh
it,
my gosh.
'cause we can't own the royalties.
No, like go listen to it because I don't want to sing it right now because my voice is
No.
gross,
Wait.
a little gross.
I have someone to plug, but I won't say it yet.
But I also have some faves. I have some 5 songs that I really enjoyed on this album that like I could listen to over and over again. So the first one is the second song of the album called Bad Luck, and it's a good like transition song from like his first album into the vibe of this album, and this album seems a little bit more hip hop centric, but it's still him. And this song is very much hip hop in the beat, and I like it.
I like that. I'll listen to
There's
that.
another song called Don't Pretend, which if you're a water sign, just listen to that song because it speaks to your entire existence as a water sign, okay? There's another song called Paradise, and that one's kind of like a new, like weird R&B. It's rhythm and blues, but it's very bluesy, like it's Mississippi Delta blues. Like it's a nice guitar in there, Mississippi Delta guitar, which is, but he also mixes in with like his indie like beats and his electronic beats, which I'm like, this is weird, I don't know how it makes sense, but it's good. And then Bluffin', again, also some Mississippi blues in that song. And then Self, which also has some similar electronic beats to that of Solange in her album, When I Get Home.
Oh.
It's the same
A bomb
intro.
album.
It's like the intro is like definitely inspired by Solange's album. And that's my album of the week.
Okay, our TV show of the week is Shrill, now streaming
Yes.
The Hulu.
Hulu. I almost said Amazon Prime.
It's Hulu.
80 Bryant from
SNL fame.
SNL is on the show,
I
and
love
it's
her.
about an overweight white woman navigating the world of, she's a journalist, so I feel like I connect with her a little bit.
I thought you would.
Connect.
When I mentioned it like last week, I think I was
Yeah,
like, you need to
you
watch
did.
the
You were like,
show.
Yeah, you didn't say though, but I'm glad you didn't. 'cause
And I didn't want to like give too much away, but I was like, Drew's gonna like it. 'cause
Yeah.
she's a journalist.
I like
and,
her.
Yeah.
But she kind of navigates the intersectionality that is seen for women who are obese.
Of different shapes and sizes,
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And it makes me try to think. It makes me think about like human sexuality, body image,
And it's not
discrimination,
stereotypical.
That's what I-
workplace,
It's not stereotypical.
Well,
social
And I think
life.
I told you guys this last week was when I first saw it, I was like, I love those stories of like, this is a girl who takes on the world, like those are great stories. But like, we've had so many of them.
So many.
And they're all awesome in their own, right?
Totally.
But I was like, I want to see something different that kind of has an edge to it or a little bit of a grit. And
Right,
I feel
and
like
this one's like fresh to death.
It really is.
this had a little bit of a grit to it, and it had something that was different. And like I told you, when I first started watching, I was like, oh, this feels like HBO's Girls, or like I kind of had these other vibes for it. But I stuck through, and I was like, honestly, 80s different. Like this is different.
No, I agree.
like it.
I agree.
There's a lot of guys that are.
In this world, so why not give them like,
Yeah.
A platform.
We want to thank Savannah for coming to our show today.
Yeah, thanks so much for coming. This is
And-
so
You're
great.
welcome.
Awesome.
I'm glad
I
that
hope
you
I come back.
shared.
I liked it. It was
Obviously
fun.
you will. Obviously you will.
Yeah.
And we just had a great time, just
Orphan that
talking and
I just was like, what?
conversating about the
Right.
stars and the world.
We hope you guys really enjoyed this podcast and got informed too about
Yeah.
astrology and all things happening,
Right. Thank you to the Slate for the facilities,
right?
and thank you to Shippensburg University for the admission.
Yeah.
Love you.
Yeah.
And we'll catch y'all on the flip. See you next week.
Bye.